Welcome back. Catalonia's pro-independence parties are expected to win the most seats in regional elections next week, but are predicted to fall short of an absolute majority. The disputed leader, Carles Puigdemont, is campaigning for re-election from Brussels, where he's avoiding charges of sedition and rebellion. Joining me to discuss this is the journalist Justin Calderon, who's in Barcelona. Justin, very good morning to you. I saw a very interesting quote the other day from someone who had lived through Franco's regime, who's describing the mood there at the moment as like the Civil War, but without the bombs. A bit of hyperbole, or does that accurately represent the situation on the ground these days?
That is a bit hyperbolic. I feel that the situation on the ground is... What Catalonia is mounting up to now is one of the most messy elections that they've had in the history of this province. You have the former vice president, who's now topping the polls, who's incarcerated, and one of the other top candidates in exile. This is not looking very smooth for this province at the moment. And then the second place runner-up right now is the Ciudadanos party, which is seen by a lot of the pro-independence movement as being too much under the wing of Madrid.
Just in terms of that, I mean, it's important to remember that the pro-independence movement is multifaceted in Catalonia. I mean, to what extent has that been an issue for them? They're expected, as things stand, not to take a majority. They're not to be a majority for independence in the Catalan Parliament. But to what extent has that lack of one party behind which to unite, and of course the incarceration and threat of incarceration of senior figures, to what extent has that had a negative impact on their chances?
Well, you see, Junqueras ran alongside Puigdemont, the former president of Catalonia, in the last election. He's now opted to distance himself physically and ideologically because he's incarcerated, so that he can perhaps have this opportunity to take back the independence movement to the way that he believes it should be carried out. He's said in public already that he believes that it was done incorrectly. He's distanced himself from Puigdemont, who cannot come back to Catalonia. The Spanish police have already put up their guard in preparation if Puigdemont did decide to come back for the day of the election. They are prepared to arrest him. The man who's leading the front, Oriol Junqueras, he has already accepted the Article 155 that allowed Madrid to take over power in Catalonia. And if he does win, and it looks like he might, he would probably play along with Madrid to take back Catalonia onto a more smooth process that would eventually lead to independence, but not immediately.
Justin, if the polls prove accurate, and of course here in the UK we've had some bad experience with polls over the past couple of years, if they prove accurate, I mean, what happens next? If there is not a majority for independence in the Catalan Parliament, does the issue get put to bed?
The issue could very well get put to bed, absolutely. The other party that is vying with Junqueras at the top is the Ciudadanos, and they are seen as centrists, but also a bit more right-wing, closer to the ideologies of the ruling PP party, that is. They would snuff the issue, and Catalonia would return to normal if they indeed did get to lead Parliament through majority.
Justin Calderon, thanks very much for joining us in Sky News.
Thank you for having me.